Hi, I'm Tiffany Oshinsky, and this is Serving Pancakes with League One Volleyball. Over the next few episodes, we're going to follow Team USA's quest for gold at the Paris Olympics while also talking with talented people in and around volleyball and women's sports. After an amazing win by the U.S. over Brazil to secure their spot in the gold medal match, we have Coastal Carolina's all-time kills record holder, outside hitter, and League One player, Leah Hardeman. Leah is a four-time conference champion and four-time player of the year for the Chanticleers. She's played professionally in Greece and Italy and won the Italian Serie A2 this past season. And now Leah will be bringing her talents back to the States, joining Love Austin. Leah, thank you so much for joining me on Serving Pancakes.
Thank you for having me. I'm actually really, really excited. I mean, I could have my own little pancakes here too, but I'm really happy. Very excited. The game was very, very, really intense. I'm really excited to talk about that and to have a conversation with you today.
Yes, I'm so excited to talk about you about everything. You have such an amazing background, and we're going to get into that in just a second. But before we truly get started and dive into this game, because like I said, there's a lot that we want to talk about, let's just quickly hear from 2016 bronze medalist Courtney Thompson, who was on the ground in Paris and witnessed this great win by Team USA over Brazil.
What's up, guys? Courtney Thompson here with Serving Pancakes with League One Volleyball. Holy cow, that was insane. I'm still in the arena here in Paris where USA just beat Brazil in 5. Let's go! Headed to the gold medal match. I don't even know where to start. That was just an amazing team win. Brazil is emotional. They're really good. They got some of the best players in the world, especially Gabby, Carol in the middle, Thais for a long time. And we served them tough, and we weathered their storm. When they got high, we just kept making the next play, which was incredible. I thought Kat and Avery passed so amazing. They hit amazing. Jordan had them in rhythm. Annie Drews took tough swings, as she does. And then Haley and Chiaka, man, they didn't get as many sets, but when they did, which is just so important, they capitalized and they blocked well, put a ton of pressure on these guys. They both had some serving runs. And the best our offenses looked tonight and last night, so credit to Jordan. Also, amazing job by Lauren Carlini and JT coming off the bench. They were plus in every single set, which is incredible and not easy. So, god dang, that was good volleyball. Just such good volleyball all the way around. And we took a few more tough swings than they did. And these guys know how to win it. So we can't wait for the finals. So pumped for these guys. Amazing job. Great team win, as we do. Let's go, USA.
All right, definitely a great team win. This match was so insane. The U.S. winning in 5 intense sets, 25-23, 18-25, 25-15, 23-25, and then 15-11. So let's talk top level first, Leah. Before we break down the match a bit, what were your initial reactions to this match?
Honestly, I was really excited first off because USA and Brazil, I love Gabby. She's my favorite player. And so I was just ready to see, how she was going to set her team up against USA. Obviously, we have all of, the superstars on our team. And to see who was going to start, I was really curious to see who was going to start and who was going to finish the match, because as of right now, through the Olympics, there's been maybe one or two players will start. We have so many subs and everything. So I was really curious about that. And from the looks, like, our team obviously held it down. So that was my first initial ideas for the game.
Yeah, and Brazil and the U.S. have like a lot of long history.
Long history.
U.S. beat Brazil
Yes.
in Tokyo, and Brazil beat the U.S. back in the London Olympics for gold. And here we are playing in the semifinals. And I know that Karch and Brazil's head coach Zé Roberto have a long relationship. And so I learned that 2 days before the opening ceremonies in Paris, Karch actually asked Brazil to play them in kind of like a warm-up game almost, but he asked them to bring the starters, have the starters start, play, no holds bar, just go out. And Brazil ended up beating the US in this little fun exhibition game, I guess, in 4 sets. So I'm curious, do you think that having that preview, quote preview, maybe helped the US in this match?
Oh, for sure. I feel like if they were bringing all of their stops and trying to basically beat USA and obviously USA used that game to scout them and to figure out what were their best shots and what were their weaknesses. Obviously everyone in the friendly match you're going to play or practice, you're going to play completely different. You're going to amp it up when you play for, a gold medal, or obviously going into the gold finals. But for sure, I think that might have bit Brazil in the butt a little bit, playing against them. Even if they won that game, when you lose, you learn. So you learn exactly what you need to do to beat them.
That's a really good point. It's a fun fact that I actually just learned is that the Miracle on Ice team back in 1980, when they, they beat Russia in that insane game, the Miracle on Ice game, right? But
Yeah.
12 days before that game, they had an exhibition game with Russia where Russia destroyed them something like 10-3. And then obviously they went on to beat them in the semifinal match. And I was kind of thinking, I was like, oh my God, it's almost like serendipitous, or it's like history repeating itself, except with the US and Brazil, where they played each other before the game, right? Before the one that actually mattered. They may have lost, but now they come out the victors in the end.
Exactly. Yes. I think maybe Haley Washington made a clip saying like when they had lost against, I can't remember who it was, they lost in 5, but she said she didn't say lose, you just said like you win or you learn. And that's exactly what they did with that friendly match or whatever match they had before. They learned exactly what they need to learn from them, from Brazil, and then took it. And I hope they do the same thing for obviously in the finals.
Yeah, that's actually a really great motto and something that I feel like players should carry with them
Carry
wherever
on
they
for
go.
sure. I'm taking that.
Right?
I'm taking it for sure.
All right, so getting into the match in the first set, they started with their power lineup. They had Avery Skinner and Catherine Plummer as their outside hitters and started off very strong. Ended up being a nail biter with the US pulling off the win 25-23. But one of the things that was crazy watching was Gabby, your girl.
I know.
She didn't have a kill until it was 22 all. So what do
Yeah.
you say? I mean, we've seen the US team be amazing at the net blocking, but talk about just their blocking in general. What have you seen from this team?
I mean, it's a brick wall, obviously. It's going straight down. But I can only say is that going back to again, like they probably scouted Gabby like down because she is their top player. And so I'm pretty sure their goal was automatically to stop her, to get her out of the way and then focus on the other players. And I think that's what they did in the first set. They were able to maybe, I'm not saying get into Gabriella's head. I don't know if that's what happened, but they probably shut her down very, very soon and then were able to focus on other people. I'm assuming that's how they got, she wasn't able to make the points.
And then in the second set, Brazil comes out strong, end up winning that game 25-18. But in the third set, then the US flipped the switch, right? Winning 25-15. So from your experience, how do you go from this tight match 25-23 that you win to all of a sudden having this game where you guys are kind of getting crushed to turning that around and then coming back and crushing your opponent? What goes through your mind?
For me, it would be obviously you win that first one and you like by human nature, you either keep your foot on the gas pedal or you kind of try and do the same things you did to win. And then that team obviously knows what you did the first set. So then they're able to, capitalize and win. But then in that third set, I feel like they decided to remember like who they are. Like I am a great player. I am able to crank the line and block and all that kind of stuff. So I think from my perception or from my just looking at the game, in the second set, Brazil came up with the very fiery attitude, like I need to show you who I am. And then the USA was like, no. You didn't know who I am, put some respect on my name. And so I think that's the mentality that like it was kind of like you need to know who I am battle. And that was I really enjoyed the third set a lot because of some players that don't necessarily cheer after every point, or they're very, very focused. Like Catherine Plummer started to scream, and that's not something that you normally see from her. And Jordan Thompson with like the very aggressive face as she blocks or attacks. So it was really cool to see each player, each team try and put their stump on it. And that was, I think, the turn of the points. They decided to show everybody, like, this is who I am and why I deserve to be here, type of thing.
They totally rattled Brazil because there were so many miscues by them that I was shocked by. I mean, there was that one, I forget what the point was, but I remember that Thaisa got set and her and her setter just completely misread what they were going to do, and the set went over her and just dropped. And I'm like, I feel like you don't see that at the Olympics too often, especially in the semifinal match with Brazil.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree too. But I mean, at the end of the day, we all have to remember that we're just human. Like, they're human. Obviously, I'm not an Olympian as yet, but like, you're human, and sometimes there's a disconnect, or you get so over excited, or you just miscommunicate about, oh, I said this. The gym is really, really loud. And so there's so many things that can go into the misconnection. But right after that, obviously they would get a point, or she would get a block, or make it up. So there's not so many of those moments, but when they do happen, everyone's like, wait, what? What happened?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Brazil obviously wins the fourth set, tied up. We have to go to a fifth set. I don't know about you, but whenever I play, I kind of have this horrible superstition that I always try to get out of my mind, that whoever scores the first point is kind of going to be the one who wins that like deciding game. Doesn't always happen, and I'm glad it doesn't always happen, because in this one, Avery Skinner was starting she started at serve, and she served it into the net. So Brazil gets the first point. In my mind, I'm like, oh no. But what was going through your mind when that happened?
I mean, honestly, I didn't think anything of it. It's just probably,
that's good.
Yeah, very, very important game. And so maybe it was a situation she obviously right after that made a good play. Especially for even not in the third, or not in the fifth set, but she hit a ball flying out, I think in the fourth, and then right after that she got a dime pass, and then it was like a connection to a setter. I think it set the middle, which is really good for her, that she's able to like make one mistake and then immediately be the next. But when it comes to the points for 15, I feel like you really have to be like a goldfish and have like erase the memory of whatever just happened, because you only have a few points to get going. And as soon as one person gets 4 points in a row, that's the momentum that takes off. So I'm really happy that they did not think like you did for
same.
the first point and it was just like, okay, one mistake, okay, let's forget about it and let's go on to the next. And so I think that's what they were really focusing on for sure on that the fifth set.
And can we take a minute to give some love to Lauren Carlini here? Because in that, in the fifth set, the double sub, there were so many moments where she just had truly epic defense.
Yes. And like just sitting like, boop, boop, and like that's how you come off the bench, and you come in and be very, very important and very crucial. Even if you're not setting, you're just, as a sitter, you still have to play defense. You still have to do so many things. And that's what I tell like my young athlete. That's like, yes, you have this one position, but you need to be well-rounded, because you don't know when that's going to come into play. And she was like a libero at this point. She was just steaming the whole time. So that was really cool for her to come in and just make crucial points.
Speaking of being able to play multiple positions, I mean, Justine Wong-Orantes was not on the court at this time, so Catherine Plummer had to come in a bunch of times to be the setter. I mean, as an outside hitter, can you imagine what's going through her mind? Like,
I don't know what's going on through her mind, but for me, I'm like, all right, just push and pose, push and pose and go cover, because it's easy to do it like in practice. It's easy to do it, when you're not thinking about it. But for some reason, I can say for me, when it's like, all right, I need to really focus and it's very, very important. Obviously, yes, it's going to work, but all the thoughts going before, it's like, all right, focus, 10 fingers, push and pose. But they're Olympians for a reason. They can do literally everything.
Yeah, for sure. And then at the end, they bring in the governor, Jordan Larson, for her consistent serve, defense, that veteran presence. So how important is it for a hitter to know that you have someone like that in your back row for such critical moments?
I think it's so important. I think the reason the success of the USA is because their bench is literally stacked. It is a whole nother team like waiting. And so even in this match and the previous ones, maybe they would have like a one or two moments that they were not 100%. They were able to go off, and knowing that their sub is just as good or better for that moment is very, very it's good, and it keeps the pressure at a minimum. And so I think that, having her being able to come into the game and have a consistent strong serve and not having to take the pressure as Avery to serve that ball it's very great. It's very important for the team, and it's cool that Jordan is able to come in and do that for the team. It's very, very great.
And I don't know if you know this, but the announcer said this early on in the game, but I guess Catherine Plummer was dealing with the flu, or she had flu-like symptoms. So this was like her flu game in a way.
Kobe.
Right?
Kobe.
I mean, as an outside hitter, can you imagine going up and playing this intense level game having the flu?
I feel like I think every athlete, I wouldn't say the flu, I've never had the flu, but there's many games that I have talked to so many players, and like their best game has been when they have been sick, or like something has happened, like, maybe the menstrual cycle, or I don't know, some kind of sickness or food poisoning, and they still go and play a fever, and they're just like, you know what, I'm trying to get all these points so I can go home, and then they end up racking like 30 points or passing all the balls. So I'm not saying that it's something I would do. I mean, I have done it. I don't know about the flu. The flu might be the top of my might be a little bit too much. Like, kudos to Catherine for doing that, but I feel like if Kobe can do it, like we can all do it at least once in the season.
The U.S. will play Italy for gold on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You played in Italy. You know how these players are. We've watched Team Italy play this tournament. So what type of game plan do you think that the U.S. is going to bring against this team?
I think it's a little unique because a bunch of the USA girls have played in Italy. So they've already played against some of these girls. So it will definitely be, the powerhouse. Obviously, Paola will do what she's going to do, and Sylvia's going to do what she's going to do. So I think it's going to be down to the very like hitting the sides of the arms and hitting through the blocks, very tactical in order to win, because they're both powerhouse teams. And so it's going to come down to the scout and down to the bench, quality to come in for both teams. I really have obviously I would love USA to win, but I have no prediction. I'm just hoping for a good game. Because I love watching a good game. So we'll see how that goes. Rooting for USA, obviously. But yeah, technical skill, I think, is what it's going to be. Just making it through the block and all that kind of stuff, and getting the balls up.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Both teams, their block is insane, and I feel like the tools, this light touches is really what's giving points for both of these teams, because otherwise you're going up against the wall.
It's the wall versus the wall, like on both teams, and so I'm really, really curious on how both teams will deal with that, because they're very stacked on. In Italy, when I was playing there, most of our defense was learning how to block and learning how to seal and close and read. So they have perfected the blocking for sure.
Now, Leah, you'll be playing with current U.S. Olympic team member Chiaka Bagu, as well as 2016 bronze medalist Carly Lloyd in Austin. So how cool is it to see someone like Chiaka out there, knowing that you're going to be on the same team as her?
I'm still in shock. Like, me and my mom are watching the games, and obviously she knows like these are going to be my teammates. So she's like, when she blocks the ball and she hits or whatever, she's like, we've been watching these girls play for a long time. Now actually we'll be watching you play with them. And so it's so cool. It's definitely like a full circle moment for me. I'm excited. I'm excited to practice next to them. I'm excited to get better with them, compete with them. It's just, I say, surreal moment for sure.
9 of the players on Team USA are going to be playing in League One volleyball this coming year. So you got Chiaka, who's going to be on your team. but you have 8 other girls who are going to be
on the other side.
on the other side. So
Yeah.
do you kind of find yourself watching these Olympic Games? Are you watching them more as a fan, or is there a little bit of scouting and game tape?
No. We're scouting for sure. We're scouting for sure. We're like, okay, she keeps doing this. All right, let me put this down. This girl's able to do this. This girl's able to do that. Obviously, yes, they're still fangirling for sure when I play against them, and maybe the first couple of points will be still fangirl, but I'm definitely playing, to compete against them. So when I watch them, yes, I'm gonna watch them when they make their points and how they make points or how points are being made against them. So it's always that, and it's not just because I'm playing against them, but for sure, every time I watch volleyball, it's more so of a scouting and learning how to get better. My mom's always asking, like, why are you not cheering? Why are you not excited? It's like, because I'm learning. I'm learning right now. So yeah, it's definitely scouting right now for sure.
When did you start playing volleyball?
I started playing when I was 10 years old. Yeah.
How did you get into it? What was the impetus for wanting to play?
So it was actually like at the elementary school that I was at, it was these two coaches, they knew that I wanted to play a sport. And so I just went to practice one day. I had a friend, she was already in the practice. I decided to go with her. Kind of liked playing a sport. I was already a cheerleader. And so I was always cheering for basketball. So at that time I was trying to do basketball and volleyball. And then when the basketball, they tried to start like hitting me and going making a contact sport, I was like, okay, no. So I went into volleyball. Maybe like 1 or 2 years, I realized, okay, I really like this. And I started to play club when I turned like 11. And so after that, it like took off. I had great coaches that took me under their wing, and like it took off from there.
And you played for Atlanta Boom. That was your club team, correct?
Yes.
How important was that club for you in continuing to play the sport?
It's so important. It's still important till today. It was a predominantly Black volleyball club, which is at that time, and even still now, like there wasn't big representation of Black athletes in the sport. And so for this club to be trying to grab all of us and bring awareness to the sport in our community was very, very important. It wasn't just volleyball. It's also like making sure that we were confident, making sure that we were loud. And, as Black women, we're always told to be a certain way, act a certain way. You need to be quiet. You need to do this. You can't be too strong. You can't do that. And they were like, no, you're strong. You're beautiful. You can play a sport. You can be as aggressive as you want to be. And we had a lot of girls to look up to. And then we also were able to, girls that were under us, we were able to bring them under our wing. So it was very, very important for me to stay in this club. And I love it to this day. It's no longer a club anymore, but I'm still connected to, the founder, and then like the founder's daughter. She's like literally my sister. She's like one of the coaches. So it was a big part of, who I am as a volleyball player now, and contributed to the representation for Black athletes for sure.
I feel like one of the cool things about the Olympics is that, you can see how diversified athletes are, right? You can see all these strong, powerful women, and they're all different shapes, different sizes. We're not just a one size fits all type of human being.
Exactly.
But going back to volleyball, it was a fairly white sport. So why was that, and how have you seen it evolve?
I'm not sure exactly why it was that situation. Maybe it's due to the accessibility, like able to get to a gym or able to find a school or whatever. Maybe because I would say during private school, that was how I was able to get into volleyball. So I didn't see it so much in public schools, and in the Atlanta or Georgia area. At that time, most Black children were going to public schools. So maybe that's how it kind of made it into that way. But since then, like since I've been young, now there's so many athletes that like when I go into the A5 gym or go to Tsunami gym, it's like split in half. Like literally, I'm like, never in the million years that I think it would be so many Black athletes. And then obviously, yes, white ladies, they're very in the gym and they're doing exciting things and they're also amazing. However, it's just I'm happy that those girls still have a representation on the Olympic team, on the international teams, to see and say that I can go somewhere with volleyball. It's really cool for them to see.
Yeah, I mean,
And
well,
for me to see.
yeah, for sure. Well, because I
Yeah.
was gonna say, because you got like Chiaka, you got Haley Washington, you got Jordan Thompson out there who are just dominating right now on the
Right.
Olympic stage, on this international stage, right? And I feel like having those girls to look up to,
Hmm.
you know, it's a whole other ball game when you get to see that representation.
Right. And I'm very happy that now it's not just going to be on TV. It will be like in person. You're able to see those girls that you looked at TV for international ball or just on the Olympics. Because some people don't watch international ball, they only see professional volleyball when it comes on the Olympics. And so now it will be in person. You'll be able to meet these people. You'll be able to possibly do like the camps that Love has and the clubs and all that kind of thing. So it's a big thing that Love is doing to bring the athletes, big time athletes, to the US and to play in person. Like, I don't think anyone really understands how big it is until it happens.
For sure. And what have you
Yeah.
been doing personally to kind of help bring the, you know, to be a role model for these girls?
So right now I do clinics and camps, either through Coastal, like through my alum, or I'll do like private lessons on my own. Right now I'm working with my elementary school, like where I started. That is like, I had my first day today and that was like literally so cute because the gym is the exact same. Like,
Oh.
you go into a gym at your elementary school, you're like, was it really this short in here? But but yes, it's just like they apparently, like, the program had stopped a while ago, and so it's only been 3 years where they're able to like start up the program again. And
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm just like there with them every other week, once a week, like just gonna come in and do like their drills during their practices and obviously go to their games. But I'm just so excited. Today was just like, meeting them, and we did like a vision board. Um, Obviously the coaches they take control. I'm just there to help. But I'm really coming down from that call because I just did that before this. But I was just like, that was just really, really cool to, be back where it all started, and also just to be an inspiration to them and to help them grow, obviously through skills. But my main goal is to like make sure that they are confident and able to understand that like being an athlete comes with, advocating for yourself and being strong and believing in yourself. And you take the outside, to the regular world. So I'm really, really happy that I, decided to volunteer with them. And I'm excited to see how that goes for sure. Like it's gonna be a blast.
I feel like that mindset is something that us as adults can really hone in on, and we can see that. Did you struggle with that at all when you were younger and like first starting to play?
Yes. I still today I have to remind myself, I'm that girl, or I'm doing this, or I'm confident, or remind myself of things that I've done in the past to get myself here. So yes, I think every girl has that inkling when they were younger, for sure, to deal with confidence and to deal with self-confidence and self-esteem issues, or being a Black girl, being a certain color with your hair. And there's just so many things that I obviously struggled through because of society. But I think sports definitely helped me because it showed me what I'm good at. And then it also brought out other things like leadership and mentorship and, being a friendly person or being a boss. Like, I used to be called bossy all the time, but then I was like, no, I'm assertive and I like to have things a certain way. So I definitely want to make sure that when I did have that problem when I was younger, I think sports was the alleyway to confidence, for sure.
Yeah, you weren't bossy, you were just a boss girl and you don't mess with, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Like, yes, call me bossy. Okay.
How do you think that this idea of, you know, diversifying the sport, just diversifying representation and role models, like what do you think still needs to happen to continue to progress?
Whew, that is a good question. Um, I feel like for sure, like women's sports in general needs to be broadcasted. It's getting better. Obviously, it's getting broadcasted more and more. I have to think about this question for sure. I'm
Take
not
a
entirely
minute.
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what would. I know it obviously can get better, but I'm trying to think of what exactly could happen to make it better, because we're doing our part. We're trying to be out there in person and to, be hands-on with the girls, like bringing maybe mentorship could work. But I think overall volleyball broadcasting or female sports broadcasting is a little bit part of it. That is definitely a question I need to know about it, because I need to be a part of it to bring awareness.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you are already part of this, right? You are bringing awareness, you're helping the
Right.
younger generation, right? But yeah, I definitely
Mhm.
think that, making people aware that this
Mhm.
is a thing and that girls, no matter who you are, can participate, right? And actually, I
Right.
think that's one of the really cool things about the way that Love is structured their schedule is,
Yeah.
you're kind of making stops in these cities, right? It's like an
Mhm.
exhibition weekend. So you get to see all these girls from all over compete and play each other. So, even though you're playing for Austin, you guys get to go to Atlanta, right? For the
I'm so
weekend. So
excited.
I
I'm so excited.
I mean, are you bringing all of the elementary girls, your
I'm
family? Like,
bringing the whole crew. So everyone always asks me, they're like, why are you not playing in Atlanta? I was like, guys, but you don't understand. I get to come home and you guys get to pack out the gym. Like, I need to have fat heads. I need to have my elementary girls, my private lessons girls, the boom crew. I have everyone is going to be pulling up, have a whole section. I'm going to just tape out Leah's area. But I'm so happy, especially because I've had like a couple of years ago, I was doing camps with the Decatur rec area because I grew up in the Decatur area. I'm always trying to do camps or clinics in the area that I actually grew up, because I did not have the opportunity to get volleyball. And so I'm trying to always put it in the areas that I knew didn't have volleyball as a prevalent sport. And so I'm going to be reaching out to those girls like, hey, like I'm back in town. Like I'm going to actually be playing. I would like for you guys to come see. If you can't come to the game, like I would maybe come see you before or after, just to continue like you said, the awareness and the prevalence of the sport. And so that they understand and see firsthand, like they can do this, or there is representation, because the first step is being able to see your goal. And if it's a person, then that's even better.
what's your goal for this upcoming season?
Hey.
We're getting in it. We're getting deep.
we're getting the real questions. We're getting on the hot seat right now. In all honesty, I know who I'm playing with, and I know where I'm stacking on the team, and I'm trying to get better, obviously, as a player. Obviously, I want to play. Obviously, I want to be a starter. But the main goal coming out of it is to enhance my sports by 3 times for sure after this season and the following next season. Obviously, I love my team to win and win the championship, but for me personally, it is to increase my skills literally by 3 times by the end of that season. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm so excited to watch you when you play in this league. It's going to be amazing. I'm excited to watch everybody. I'm excited
Yeah.
to watch Chiaka and everybody else play for gold on
Everyone.
Sunday morning.
Yes. 7 o'clock
And
sharp.
let's go.
Yes.
And Leah, it was a pleasure speaking with you. I can't wait, like I said, to watch you play. And thank you so much for being on Serving Pancakes.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. This was really, really sweet. I loved it. And we will be cheering for gold on Sunday.
Let's go. Thanks for watching Serving Pancakes. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. You can also listen to the podcast version on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.